Welcome everyone to Beyond the Adventure. Today's episode is shots fired from Season 2 of Adventure Wednesday. Let's get started. So getting this episode started here, I was playing off the dramatic gunshots that you can hear in the background, and here is a very poor attempt at acting on my part. Now anyways, like I was saying, this episode takes place all the way back in Season 2, when this was recently after I had purchased the Phantom 3 4K. I was looking for places to film that didn't really have a heavy industrial setting. I was looking for places that had a clean nature shot, where there wasn't any buildings, cars driving by, smog, anything like that, houses. I just wanted just plain old nature with the colors of the leaves changing because it was fall. Now, the original air date on this episode is October 12th, 2016. Now, the spot that I'm actually taking you, since that time, there is an Air Force base that is located not too far away from there. And at the current time when I had filmed this episode, this was on the skirt of the no-fly zone, so I was just on the absolute edge of, you can't get any closer flying the drone. And since that point in time, they've actually expanded the radius of the do-not-fly zone just a little bit, so this area now is a complete no-fly zone. So just wanted to try to find some color, some things that were not influenced by nature with the drone. I headed out to Rock Valley, also known as West Holyoke, or known as the Boonies in Holyoke. Here is the intersection of Homestead Ave and Route 202. Now, if you were to take this road and go all the way out, you actually end up in Westfield. On the left right there's a side street. They had this whole big thing going on where the neighbors couldn't get out of the neighborhood, so they decided to install a traffic light there. Then they decided to cut in a road that was going to the community college that's located in that area. Since that point in time, people are cutting through the residential area that aren't supposed to cut through there, which I don't really agree with. I mean, I understand that, there are quieter neighborhoods and there are signs that say local traffic only or residential traffic only, but at the same time, it's a public street. Everybody has the right to use it. So since then, they've actually set up Jersey barricades and they've blocked off that road and another road. They blocked off the entrance to the reservoir because people were parking on the highway where you're not supposed to park at all. So here I am actually just backtracking a little bit, just taking a drive-through stroll of Rock Valley right here. Now this is heading up towards where Glow Tech Field is. It's where I played soccer when I was a little kid. I played softball when I was a little kid. We're going to be taking a left right here, and this is heading out over on the ridge on Mountain Road, a very, very nice, very quiet part of Holyoke. There's a field over there, a farm on the right that I just passed called Pretty Flowers Farms, or Pretty Fields Flowers, or something like that. It's a very interesting name. Here we are turning down the road to the gun club. Now, the gun club is where I would go when I was younger, when I was in the Scouts. We would do our target shooting there and gunsmanship stuff and, rifle merit badges and you name it. Now it is a spot where the Holyoke Police Department actually goes up there to practice and to use. They have a long rifle range. So you can park there. You can't park inside of where the facility is. They actually do have a gate that locks, so you will know exactly where to go. Now, as long as you stay on the trail, you're fine. So stay on this trail right here. You go to the left, that's where there is a long-range rifle range, so I wouldn't suggest going there or you might get hit with a 50 cal. Anyways, staying on this trail right here, heading down, this actually is a connecting trail to the Appalachian Trail. This one actually runs up, and then the Appalachian Trail runs, so like the Appalachian Trail runs here, and this trail cuts off. It's like a little branching of it. So, like I said, the Phantom 3 4K, I had just purchased this drone, and this was, I guess, the first time that I have ever taken it up inside of a forest or inside of a heavily wooded area. So I tried to find a spot that it was kind of opened up a little to take it up. And in recent times, since purchasing the Mavic Pro, I am a lot more comfortable with taking the drone up in wooded areas and sneaking it around trees. The Phantom was a lot bigger. It had a larger footprint, is what I'm trying to say. So here we are walking through the woods. Now the leaves are starting to turn yellow. There are a bunch of them that are falling on the ground, and this is the East Mountain Wildlife Management Area, which is located next to the gun range. So I can't imagine if an animal wanders onto the gun range that they're free to kill, but I don't know. So anyways, heading down this path here, I'm actually coming up on a spot where I'm going to bring the drone up in just a second here. This isn't really a heavily hiked path. I remember going up this path a couple of times when I was a little kid, but if I say that I hiked the same trail more than 5 times in my life, I'd probably be lying to you. I'd say I'd hiked it around somewhere around 5 times in my life. I tend to stay more on the more traversed trails, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Awful lot of golds that you are seeing in the trees right now. This year I noticed we didn't really have too many gold colored trees, gold colored leaves. There was more or so a lot of red. Here's just a little time lapse of the sun going down. Now, as you can see, there was a little bit of wind that day, but really wasn't that windy. I mean, the trees are just not moving. Every once in a while you see them shake a little, but the sun went down a considerable bit from this little time lapse here while I was flying the drone. I think I set the camera up behind me.
Many a times hiking up and down.
So I found this
leads all the way from East Hampton.
little clearing right here, and I decided that that would be a good spot to take the drone up. Now, the trail actually will lead all the way, if you take the Appalachian Trail, it leads all the way from Georgia all the way up, Georgia, well, it ends in the Smoky Mountains and it goes all the way up into Vermont, New Hampshire. The Appalachian Trail is a very long trail in the United States. Now, this is one thing that I like to do. I don't know why. I think it's cool, but to do a pan up of the drone from wherever it is launching before taking off with it. Now, I do have to apologize if the video is a little shaky here. Like I said, this is my first time flying in a forest, taking off around trees, but these views right here, you can't really see. I mean, there are some buildings off on the far right-hand corner, but not too much. And like I said, there's still an awful lot of green here. There is Mount Tom, that is the really peaked mountain there on the kind of 2/3 right section of your screen, if you want to put it that way. I like the bright gold of this tree right here, so I did a couple shots of it. That was very close. You could see the tops of the branches there moving as the drone flew overhead. So here I am just doing a back out shot in the woods. Now, some of you may say that's a very clear spot to be bringing a drone up, but for somebody that only had maybe a month or so of flying experience with that drone at that point in time, it was a little sketchy for me, but I said, I gotta get the shot, so we're gonna go for it. Now you can see the industrial stuff I was talking about over on the right-hand side. So I was just trying to keep as much nature in the shot as possible. Now, also another thing, there's not a single cloud in the sky as the computer, I don't know what is going on with this MacBook Air. It's just randomly shutting off on me. It did it last episode. I actually had to sit here 4 different or 5 different times in a row and try to film the episode because the screen would keep going blank. And it's not from like, you know, the screensaver just goes on, because I have the screensaver set at 20 minutes. So I have definitely not been sitting here talking for 20 minutes without moving the cursor or anything. So here's another shot of me just backing up in the woods, doing a back out shot with the trees encompassing the camera there, which I thought was a pretty cool shot, very reminiscent of being like in a tunnel or something like that. Like I said, just an awful lot of green up around this area still. Over to the right there, that is where East Hampton is located. Straight ahead right now would be where Westfield is located. On the other side of this mountain ridge, about 10 miles or so away, I'd say 7 miles away, that is where the airfield is located. And now that no-fly zone has been increased to well past the ridges up there, it's almost like near Mount Tom. Here's just another shot of that one tree right there, bringing the drone down. Trying to do a hand catch, because I learned a couple times to not trust the DJI products landing on themselves. They tend to land and then decide that they want to spin the props again a little bit, and they fly backwards. So anyways, here I am just making it back to the truck right now. But like I said, if you park over in this area, you're fine. Just don't block the gate and stay on that trail right there. Usually that gate is closed. I don't know why it was open. My guess is because they had more people coming up to use the gun range. That is a gun club right there. They actually have that outdoor range, was expanded upon a couple of times when I was younger, and they also have an indoor shooting range. They have a couple of outdoor shooting ranges. They have a long shooting range, and it's a pretty affordable gun club if that is what you're into. I know I took my LTC class up there, and I remember looking into the pricing, and it's something like, I don't know, I don't quote me, it's like $100 for the year or $100 for 6 months. And you basically get a card where if you want to go there and shoot at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, in the inside range, then you can go ahead and you can swipe your card and you're granted access to the building. Anyways, that is it for today's episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by giving a thumbs up, and I'll see everybody on Friday for Free for All Friday. Peace.